did we wait for Lena, beginning with connecting to the adoption agency or attorney to the placement day. So we decided it was about 4 months, but after the day we were approved, that was like the whole like process of getting approved. So the day we were approved to the day we had Lena, I think was about 3 weeks. 3 weeks? 3.5 weeks, something like that, which never happens.
Right, because I let you know 3 weeks?
On like the 31st or something, we met you, and then you let us know the beginning of
Yeah, there's
August.
like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Or 3 weeks or something, and I'm like, guys, I'm pregnant.
Yeah, oh gosh. Yeah, it was so fast. Tell us about placement day. Tell us how you supported Tori with her decision that day. That was the hardest day.
The hardest day by far.
It was so full of emotion because we were so like, it was so long coming for us to get her here. It felt like through, you know, the years of leading up to that point. So we were so excited and just so feeling so blessed for us. But like,
We had, and even though it was only like a month and a half max that we'd known Tori, we loved her so much already. I mean, she was giving us something that was amazing, right? And just for that, we loved her so much already, and it was painful to see the pain that she was going through, for sure.
oh, I'm like getting all like teary-eyed. But yeah, it was tough. It was really, really tough to see her in such agony. Like, it was something that was bringing us so much joy, was causing her so much pain. Because she loves her. She loved her then, she loves her now. And she was doing it at her own expense. Yeah, it was tough. I remember we got in the car and just like saying goodbye to you was just like painful that day. And we got in the car and like, we have an extra bedroom. We should just tell her to move in.
Oh yeah.
Like I just feel so bad. But I don't know. I knew what it was like to leave the hospital without your baby, because you know we had done the same thing with our son before that, and I knew what that felt like. Even though I didn't know what it was like to place a baby, I knew what it was like to do that. And so I just, in my head, I was just bound and determined to lessen that pain as much as we could, you know. And so I sent her pictures on the way home. I sent her pictures when we got home. You know, we planned when she was going to be coming over. I just, whatever, I mean, we couldn't take that pain away, obviously, but anything that we could do to help ease that.
They were amazing.
We tried to do, I guess. You guys were. Anyway.
I cannot imagine.
Oh my gosh, that was such a hard day.
Hard to go back to that day. You know what I mean?
It's
Without-
extremely
I mean,
difficult.
obviously.
Yeah, it's really hard to think about that day.
Holy cow.
Aside from the emotions, was the adoption process hard? Did you have enough support in that area? And then how does Spencer support you now? And then
So it, being pregnant and having my decision that I was going to place her up for adoption, it was not as emotional as I was placing at all. It never really like hit me until I placed her. It was kind of just like, this is what I'm gonna do, it's gonna be fine, like this is what's best for the baby, like why wouldn't I do this, you know? So it wasn't hard for me to, you know, make that decision of adoption. I got to, you know, take care of her for a few nights in the hospital and have her, and I think that might have made it a little bit more difficult, but I wouldn't take it back. I treasured and enjoyed those moments with the baby after I had her. And when the day came that I needed to place her and let her go home with Matt and Amber, that was the hard part for sure. Having all that time with her, 9 months, and then a few nights out of the womb with her, and then, you know, saying goodbye, not really saying goodbye because I knew I would see her again, but just letting her go home with them and accepting that you know, they're gonna be her mom and dad now. That was difficult, but it just takes time, and it takes, you have to go through, there's different grieving processes. You see a counselor, you need to be around people that love you and understand what you're going through, and it totally gets better, and it's not always going to be hard. You're going to realize that's what was meant to be, and that's always going to overcome the sadness of you did the right thing for the baby. So
Because you had days where
you will have
said,
days.
can we just please call? Can we just please go get her? You know?
Yeah, it's difficult. Sometimes you're like, I need to hold her, I need to feed her, blah blah blah, things like that. But it gets a lot better. There will be days where it's still sad and I cry and things like that. Definitely not as often. It gets better and better with time.
The next one says, tell us the happiest moment for you during this adoption journey.
There's been just quite a few. I can't really point out the happiest moment. For me, it's saying. I think just kind of seeing her grow up is just so awesome, and how Matt and Amber are with her, and the things that she's learning, and her growing into her personality and learning to walk and things like that. Those are just happy moments for me.
If one of your girlfriends same question we asked Spencer, if one of your girlfriends got pregnant and was considering abortion, what would you have to say to her now? Like, give me 50 right now after you placed.
Probably cry. I would just be, they just don't understand, they don't understand what they're about to do to a baby if they're wanting to do that. I would just strongly encourage them and to go to choose adoption. I mean, it's painful for them, obviously, being in that position. It's a hard thing, and if it's something they didn't choose to do, it's going to be hard for them. Like it was for me. It's not something that I chose to do, and it happened, but it happens, and it's not always going to be that hard. You're going to overcome the hard things, and it'll be worth it in the end, and you'll be stronger than ever if you choose to do adoption.
And finally, tell us what the future looks like to you, including the adoption, but also your children in the future. What are you planning on? Have you considered adoption yourself?
I've actually not thought about that, if I would ever adopt. Well, I kind of have, huh? It's always an option. We never know. I definitely can't wait to have children with Spencer and start our own little family. If, adoptions, it's not like I'm against it at all, adopting, obviously not. I think that if
we can have our natural kids, that we would do that, and if anything were to prevent that, then yeah, I think that we'd be
totally open to adoption.
Open
for
to
sure.
adoption.
Yeah.
And then you two, tell us what you love about each other.
We're pretty opposite in some ways, but really the same in some ways. And I think opposites attract. He's very patient. That's what I love that about him, for sure. He's really patient and kind and loving. And he's so handsome.
The reason why I love Tori, and what I love, is how we can be ourselves. I kind of said this already, but she's a weirdo, and that's exactly how I am. I'm just super weird, so we'll
We're
wake
really
up
weird.
and I love that. I love being able to be myself. And another thing coming into the whole relationship, after the whole adoption and everything, she is the most selfless girl on this planet. She has the biggest heart in the world and would do anything and everything for anyone. That's why I love her.
Very nice. Cute newlyweds. Okay, so Matt and I, there's a couple more questions for us, so we'll answer those here in a second, but we're gonna let these guys go because Tori has to go to work. But anyway, thanks so much, you guys, for asking us these questions. This is good. This is stuff that I hadn't really thought about before, answers from them that I hadn't really heard before. Yeah, so that was really good. We appreciate you guys. Thank you. Okay, We'll tell you a second the rest of our questions, but we'll say bye to Tori and Spencer
Okay,
for now.
bye.
Oh, and then this is Jana. This is Tori's mom.
I'm the birth grandma.
Yeah, she's birth grandma. It's funny because my boys think that everyone has birth grandmas and birth grandpas.
And they have how many grandmas and grandpas?
Yeah, they have like nine sets or
yeah.
something like that. It's crazy, but we love it. It's been good. Matt and I are gonna answer the rest of these questions. There's a couple that are just for us.
Okay. Are you involved in any adoptive family support groups?
No,
We should be.
we should be.
Yeah. That's honestly the whole reason we started our vlog, was kind of to contribute to the support side. But we aren't really on the receiving end of any. I feel like we're so lucky we don't. I mean, our adoption's so open. If we have questions or problems, we just address them with
With
the family.
our birth families, we'll just
You
say,
know.
you know, this is what I'm feeling. What do you think? And just being super, super open has been so good. And so we haven't needed a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, okay.
If you had the chance to, and he or she wanted your advice, what would you tell an abortion-determined father and mother facing an unplanned pregnancy? If Matt could hit, okay.
So if you could say
So
what you
I
say to
would
the father.
I would just do anything and everything I can to steer them away from that. And I love adoption. I think it's an excellent solution. And so obviously I would steer them in that direction if they weren't fit to take care of the baby themselves.
It's hard for me because it's not like it's just a fetus to me. It's our little Lena. It's the joy that she brings into our lives is just huge, and she's, you know, full of life and light and joy and happiness, and she just is the cutest little thing. And so I think of Lena, and so for me, I would just tell them that, you know, it's not just a fetus, it's a baby, and it's a baby with, you know, so much potential that can change the world and change someone's life. And I'm just so grateful that Tori chose adoption instead, and that she chose to give her life, even though, you know, it definitely was hard for her. She chose to do what was best for Lena, and that was to give her life and to give her family. And so I would just, you know, have them consider that, and have them consider, you know, the potential that this little baby has, and the potential that they not only have for themselves, but the potential they have to bring someone so much happiness. There's so many families out there that they can't have, you know, biological children of their own, and it would just mean the world to them to, you know, have these babies in their family, because it's changed our whole world. And so, yeah, I would just ask them to reconsider and to think about the good that they could do.
It could be such a blessing to, so like, if you're not in a position where you want to raise a child, then that's great. That there's other options besides adoption or abortion, and we know so many families that are hoping and trying to adopt. That will you be adopting again?
That, I feel like, is a super deep question. Right off the bat, I would probably say we're done having more kids. I think that if, you know, it came to us that we were supposed to, and you know, we got hit over the head with a hammer or a bolt of lightning or something, then, you know, obviously we would do it. But at this point, I don't feel I don't feel the need right now, I guess. So right now, I think we're good.
I would say our family feels complete. But like Amber said, if the right opportunity presented itself and we both felt really strongly that we were supposed to, then we might consider it. But
yeah, we would.
For now, I would say no.
Yeah.
What would you tell a couple hoping to adopt?
Hang in there.
I always feel guilty or sheepish, or I don't know what the right word is, when we talk about our experience, because it was so fast. But I would say to couples hoping to adopt, if it's meant to be, it will happen. and it will feel right, and everything will go right.
And it will go smooth.
Right.
What happened with us is our adoption process was actually, it should have been a lot faster than that, because I'm really type A, and I was really like blowing through all the paperwork really fast. From the time they gave us the go ahead, it was only like 2 weeks that we got the paperwork done in.
She hired an independent home study company to come and do the home study because she wasn't willing to wait for the agency. And literally everything was done. We went in, we got the checklist, we did the orientation, all the required trainings. We got all those done in like 1 day.
The panels.
All the panels, it's like, okay, when's the very next one, because we're going to that one. And
yeah. So we did that all really fast. What took us the 4 months was the fact that we had just lost our son that previous January, and the counselor at the agency thought that, she wanted us to go to counseling. And so that's what took all of the time. And I remember going through that period just thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated. This is taking so long. Why does it have to take so long? It shouldn't take this long. And, if we're really meant to adopt a baby, why is it taking long? Because there's all of these babies that are being born, and we're not approved yet. And so we can't even adopt until we're approved. And I just remember being so frustrated. But what I realized is, when your baby is ready for you, it will all work out. And it's your baby that's coming. It's not a baby, it's your baby that's meant to be in your family. And when it's time, it will happen, and everything will fall into place. I mean, just to give you an idea, the counselor that we saw was supposed to write a letter to the agency to tell them that we were approved, and crazy things were happening. Like, there was like a 3 or 4 week delay where he couldn't write the letter because his fax machine broke, and then his vacuum cleaner caught fire, and then he had surgery and got a blood clot. And so it was just random stuff that delayed it, but it was because our Lena wasn't ready yet.
Yeah, had our profile been approved any other day besides that very day when Tori was going in to make that final decision, we probably wouldn't have made the short list.
We would have missed her.
And so it was meant to be. And that's what I would say to couples hoping to adopt is, when your baby is ready, you'll find them. It's not a baby, it's your baby.
So hang in there.
Yep. Happy moment after adopting Lena.
Oh, there's so many.
Yeah. There is no one moment.
She brings so much joy. She totally, and I'm getting all teary again. Oh my gosh. She brings so much joy to our lives every single day. She just is like the icing on the cake, The boys and her are just our whole world, and we're just so grateful for them, the way that they are with each other, and we were meant to be a family, and I'm just so grateful for that. And I would say some of my happiest moments with the adoption have been the times where we have experiences with open adoption. Don't you think? I love when we all get together as one big happy family, and it just works, it just jives, and everybody hangs out and gets along and is happy, and we spend time together, and I take a step back from those moments when we're all together, and I just think we are so lucky. How lucky are we that we not only got a baby, we got this entire family too. And I think that's the moments where I'm just really in awe.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree. She was, you said icing on the cake, and she totally is. We've got our boys that like to beat each other up and wrestle and break things in the house, and then we have Lena that every little article of clothing in the house becomes an accessory to her, and she wraps it around her neck, and little this little dainty girly girl, and
she walks around with her hands like a girl, and she likes to play dress ups already, and she's only 1, and she just is the girly girl that we needed in our home.
Yeah.
So anyway. All right, guys, I think that's all the questions. We appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for sending us those questions, Callie. Callie is from Talk About Adoption, And so Talk About Adoption is put together by a bunch of cute birth mamas, and so they are the ones that sent us these questions. So we're so glad that we could answer some of those, and hopefully that can be helpful and give you guys some insight to what it's like to be a birth mom or a birth parent or someone supporting a birth parent, and then adopted parents as well. So we'll talk to you later. Thanks guys.
See ya.
Bye.